Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you've never been here. My name is Ashley, and I'm so glad that you decided to click this video. I do not think that you're clicking it out of coincidence. I think that you're clicking this one for a reason. And I'm so glad you're here. I hope you stick around. For those that are coming back, I just want to come share something that has been on my heart, that I've been wrestling with, and what God has kind of told me through it. I just want everybody to know it's okay if your faith journey doesn't look like anyone else's. It's okay if you feel like you don't quite fit into the mold others might expect from a follower of Christ. Your journey matters because the only focus we need to have is on the one who saved us, Jesus Christ. I'm learning it. You'd think I would know by now. For the longest time, I felt God nudging me to share my story. But fear kept me from moving forward. I'd sit there staring at the go live button, knowing He was asking me to take a leap of faith. And yet, the questions lingered. What if no one listens? What if they misunderstand? What if my journey is too far out of reach for others to relate to? The silence I felt from some, as though my story is too much, made me second guess everything God has brought me through. But here's the thing. God didn't call me to speak because it's easy or because everyone will immediately understand. He called me because He's done something in my life that's bigger than fear, rejection, or silence. I heard Him whisper, "You don't have to convince them, just speak." And so I'm stepping forward to do just that every day. You may not walk the same path I've walked. Adoption, surrender, and the trust it took to place my son with the family God prepared for him may feel far removed from your own life. But what God taught me through that experience is universal. Faith is about obedience, even when it costs us everything. Faith isn't about looking perfect, fitting in, or even having all the answers. It's about trusting God when it doesn't make sense. It's about saying yes to Him when everything in you wants to say no. It's about letting Him rewrite the story you thought you were living. I know firsthand it can feel isolating, especially when you don't seem to fit into the traditional faith community. Maybe you feel misunderstood or even invisible. But if you're actively seeking Jesus, if you're opening His Word, letting it speak to you, and pointing others to Him, you're right where you need to be. You are doing exactly what it takes to follow Him. God's not looking for perfect people. He's looking for willing hearts, and He sees yours, and He sees mine. So here I am, sharing my story, not because I have it all together, but because I've seen the hand of God in my life in ways that I cannot deny. Even if one person sees Him more clearly because of my journey, then it's worth it. For anyone who feels like they're on the outside of faith, please hear this. Faith isn't about perfection. It's about surrendering to His plan, even when it costs you. It's about finding peace and joy in the hardest circumstances because He was faithful. To those who don't understand my story, I don't blame you. I didn't fully understand it either until God walked me through it. But I invite you to look past the surface, past me, past the story, and see Him, the one who worked through my fear, weakness, surrender, to accomplish something only He could. And for those who feel like God is calling them to take a leap of faith, but fear is holding you back, remember, you don't have to have all the answers. You just have to trust the one who does. He sees you, He loves you, and He's with you every step of the way. I'm excited to share this journey with you. So I have created an 8-part series that unpacks this walk of faith. We're going to explore what it means to trust God in ways that might not always make sense, but that will always lead us closer to Him. So I'm going to share the lineup with you. The first video, the first part of the series, will be the call of God, trusting Him into the unknown. Because when God calls, it's rarely comfortable, but it's always for His greater plan. Second video, what it means to fear God, reverence and relationship. True fear of the Lord isn't about being scared. It's about living in awe of who He is. True faith, a life rooted in obedience. Faith isn't just a belief. It's in action. It's trust. It's saying yes to God when it costs you everything. 4, humbled. Judgment, grace, and the beauty of God's correction. God's correction is never to condemn, but to restore us into the people He's called us to be. Following Christ, not ourselves. Laying down our agendas. The world says to follow your heart. Jesus calls to follow Him. The isolation of the faith journey. Trusting in the silence. Faith often feels lonely, but God is always present, even when we can't feel Him. God's grace in extending it to others, living what we've received. The grace we've been given isn't meant to stop with us. It's meant to flow through us. And what being the light truly means. Shining boldly in the darkness. The world needs light. Will we hide ours or let it shine so others can see Him? There are 8 videos if you didn't catch that. It's going to be an 8-part series. Each of these topics represent a part of my journey, a journey of surrender, growth, and learning to trust God in the unknown. My prayer is that as I share, seeds of faith will be planted in your life. We all have a story God is writing, and no matter where you are in yours, I hope this message encourages you to step into what He's calling you to do. Let's go on this journey together. And that is all I have for you. I am going to cut it here before I start rambling because, I'm bad at goodbyes.